Hello and welcome to sim.bc. I know it sounds like Christ, doesn't it? And today it is 0239. That is correct, but you already knew that, now didn't you? And let's just get the elephant out of the room. We're getting over with. Because what you're viewing right here somewhere and right up here is what I'm calling the new mask, right? No, but it's what I'm thinking about using while going forward. And this is one of my New Year's Eves or my New Year's resolutions. Yes, it is. And that was, let me hear it. Did you say it? Photoshop. Yes, that is correct. Implementing Photoshop into the production of these videos. And I'm trying, trying me best. It's day numero dos. So, well, hopefully this is something that's going to get a lot more improved over the course of the year. But I'm happy that I already started. Because what did I tell you? What did I tell you when it comes to New Year's resolutions? Keep them simple. No, that wasn't it. Keep them complex. No, that wasn't it either. Keep them realistic. Yeah? Because you shouldn't be demotivated, you should go out there and be a go-getter and a can-do attitude. And as you can see here, it's day numero dos, numero uno plus uno. No, but oh wow, it's day number 2 and I've already implemented it. And no, I didn't have all of this, pre-planned. No, I did not. This was something that I did like 2 hours ago. So I've sat with this since around 12 o'clock and it's been an enjoyable time. I've been through several iterations already and there are probably going to be lots more moving into, the actual year. But yeah, please leave a comment on what you think about it. And is it like too visual? Is it too outstanding? Is it too in the way? Is it out of the way? Is it not too much? Should it be bigger? Should it be smaller? Is it too complex? Do you get with me? Is it too confusing? You get the draft, you get the idea. That is what I basically want you to do. And if you have some of your own designs, or some of your own thoughts about how it should look like, then please share them with me however you can, preferably in the comments in some way. Oh yeah, that was a lot of intermission right there, a lot of preposition for what we're actually going to move into today. And today I was thinking about just chillaxing, moving through the the things that we've discussed the previous days. Well, that wasn't selling at all, now was it? No, it was not. This is, after all, 3 o'clock in the morning. So, if I'm not with you, that could be basically because it's, 3 o'clock in the bloody morning. And it could be because, well, I've just spent 2 days or 3 days or 4 days with a cat. And I'm allergic. So that could have affected my energy levels. So just bear with me, mates. Just bear with me. And I seem to have one of them excuses every time now, doesn't it? Well, you know what they say, a good guy always comes prepared, right? No, but what we're going to talk about today is, and I'm going to try to make it more selling now, what we've discussed the previous days. I know, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Gary, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Anyway, what I was thinking about discussing is dress codes, branding, and purchasing power, and the unity and status in clothing in particular, and clothing in general, because that is actually what we've been discussing. And there have been some, perspectives creeping up on me, or some things that I actually didn't know going into this. Now, one of them is that people tend to not think about what they're wearing. At least that is the feedback that I have gotten, and I can say honestly, right, in my opinion, I thought that, or from my perspective, right, I thought that was all baloney, because I really have lived my entire life thinking that people actually think about what they're putting on. But it's quite enjoyable to see that some of you are saying, well, that isn't the case for me, or that isn't the case for some of my friends. So quite interesting to see that we have conflicting views on that. Why doesn't people care about it, or why doesn't people actively think about it? Well, that's a discussion going into, and a perspective to be explored as well. And I could just say from the top of me head, right, that if you don't think about what you're wearing, that could be one, because you're already satisfied with who you are, right? With who you are as a person, because you don't need to show the visual change in style because you're already happy with what you got. Or you're just simply one of them crazy people, right? One of them outrageous people that I would encourage everybody to be, that stands outside of the, social system. We shouldn't say that. That makes it sound really, really bad. But what I meant by that is someone who stands outside of the media picture, because as I also saw, some people say, well, the media is exploring they're pushing a certain view, like you should look this way if you want to be this way. If you're this kind of person, then you should dress like this and you should behave like this, which is actually something that is a problem all of its own. But yes, indeed, it correlates to this, and it was something that I didn't mention, so thank you yet again for mentioning it in the comments. Just, poking holes in my arguments, right? But yeah, it also relates to that point, because if you don't tend to think about what you're actually wearing in the morning, which yet again I think is quite healthy in a way, I do not encourage people to just take whatever, right? Because you shouldn't stroll around naked, now should we? No, of course there should be some structure to it, but you shouldn't stand there for 4 hours every morning deciding what to wear, and then in the end you say, I have nothing, and then you're just going out spending money on stuff, even though that is what makes the economy rolling in a way, capitalism. Woohoo! Well, depending on how your view is on that. Mine is like, I conflicted at the moment. Might do a scripted video about that too. All the ideas. Anyway, if you don't tend to think about what you're actually wearing in the morning, and you're stepping out, right? You're stepping out in your regular clothes, kinda like me, I would say. I would like to argue that I'm that way, but I know I've caught myself saying like, oh, I can't go out like this, I have the wrong pair of shoes. Quite recently actually, so maybe I'm not part of them, but you know what I'm saying. Someone who's basically is taking what they have and going out. Yet again, a healthy mentality. And what do I mean with them standing outside of society? Well, I absolutely don't mean that they're outside and bullied in any way, that they're isolated in a negative way, even though that could be a potential consequence, unfortunately, because of, yet again, the media picture. Because as we all know, or as we've all read somewhere on the interwebs, am I right? Or as we have heard from other people, we'll have that one friend, am I right, doing all the memes that are saying like, oh, the media is controlling us on what to wear, why, when, and how. And I would tend to say that, well, in a way that is actually kind of true, because some people are wearing stuff that are supposed to market that kind of look to the people who want to be the same. And if you then don't care to think about what you're actually wearing, you're actually saying, I'm outside of that system, I don't get that affected up by what the media actually posts and what they say. Now, in a way, you can say that, well, I'm quite resilient to marketing overall, because we have these media pictures all over the place, and social media is so integrated in today's society, in people actually, in their minds. I mean, I have my phone up several hours a day looking at, different social media apps, which might be social, might not be social. That yet again an entire discussion of its own. But what I meant to say was that when you're looking at these social media, pages and apps, constantly, right? You're constantly getting bombarded with all this. This is how you're supposed to look. Look at this. Look how thin and nice I am. Look how muscular I am. Look how fat I am. Look how happy I am. All of these people. And depending on how you view it, you can say, well, oh, there's all of these many people who dresses and wear different things, and they do completely different things, and they're all unique and they're all individuals, right? That's one way of looking at it. Unfortunately, that doesn't tend to be the general view of how to look at it, so to say. The general view of how to look at it might be something like, I want to be like that person that I'm following that has like 500,000 followers or something, just a random number. Don't know if that's a lot or little, to be honest, but I would say it's quite a lot. And then you see what they're wearing, and you want to be like, I want to be like that person because I like that person. I'm going to dress exactly like they do, and I want to have the same brands, I want to have the same things. And that tends to lead to, if you buy those clothes and you stand there in the morning and they are dirty, what do you wear? And I would say this is not the entire pillar of why you're standing and looking through things in the morning, but I would argue that it's one of them. That you're saying, I bought these nice clothes and now the rest of me clothes are bad in comparison, or they're not living up to the standard of who I want to be. I want to change myself, as we discussed in the first video, to this. I want to show that I've got from here to here, and I want to show that visually, right, in style. I want to change style, but all of them clothes I have that are visualizing, that are showing that style, they're dirty. So what do? Well, you should make your washes more often, mate. No, that is obviously not the case I'm trying to make. But yet again, this person who's standing outside of this, what you would say, this circle of watching media, go buying clothes, put them on, they're dirty, I don't know what to do, watch media again, buy new clothes because their other ones are dirty, and then they get dirty and then you stand there again. If you're kind of outside this circle, right, you tend to be, well, I would say that, I was gonna say you tend to be more happy. That's obviously might not be the case at all, because there's so many parallels, so many things that you have to consider when it comes to stuff like that. But I would like to say that it's quite interesting how some people can stand outside of this system, and I would say that that's a way of saying that you're quite content with who you are, so that you don't look to these role models with 500,000, with 1 million followers, and say, I want to be just like them, because you might be kind of content with who you are, or quite happy with who you are in this moment. And yet again, these people might want to change in the future, which leads to that they're also watching media, or they're also watching, you know, all kinds of media, or newsletters, or newspapers, or actual papers. They still exist, blew me mind. No, I was kidding. And some people are actually gonna view this and be like, what is a newspaper, daddy? And they're gonna be like, back in my day, we shoveled the trees and made them into papers so that people can throw away them in the morning after reading the titles that you now can read on your phone. I'm not saying that I'm taking a stance on newspapers. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm just saying that that's quite interesting. But that was one argument that came up with the dressing and the clothing and the dress code and the branding videos, that, well, have you thought about the media picture and how that might relate to people wearing clothes? And no, I actually did not. So now that I've kind of answered this, I might move into making a new video tomorrow about more perspectives about media and clothing. And I know that's quite a depth and project. There's quite a lot of depth to that, so I might not be able to show all the perspectives, which I probably will tell in the next video, so I don't have to. But yes, the main thing that I want to say is keep on acting in the discussion. Love it, mates. I bloody love it. And what do you think about this and this right here? What do you think about the new kind of not logo? What do you think about the new mask, so to say, that I call it, that I'm gonna have in the videos? Yet again, they're going to change over the course of the year, so the more feedback the better, right? So have a nice one, mate, and I'll see you tomorrow.